Slash and Cast.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
Horror brought to you by the Slasher and Cast Podcast Network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. We talk horror and nothing but horror. Hope everybody's doing well. And today, as always, I am joined by the one, the only, my fellow co-host, Mori.
That's right. Hey guys, what's up?
And as always, so today we will start off with Guess the Character. And then our main topic today is, since we did vampires last episode, we're going to do werewolves. Maury doesn't know shit about werewolf movies. So this should be fun.
Cooler.
Wow. I feel like werewolves are much cooler though, because they're cursed more. Depending.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna start off with guess the character. So guess the character is a game where, obviously, we, like last episode, choose 3 characters, and the other person has to guess what character the other person has decided to give them. So I will begin, and Maury, I'm gonna give you. Should I be a dick or should I be nice?
Whichever you prefer.
What kind of mood am I in today? Let's go with. Okay, I'm gonna go with. We'll go with. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Am I a slasher? I know I always ask in a weird way.
You're in a slasher. You're not a slasher.
So in a slasher. Okay. All right. Is the movie named after a specific day?
No.
Okay. Honestly, that handles like a decent amount. You know, like Halloween, Friday the 13th. I mean, maybe not Bloody Valentine. That could be definitely a mixture there. So do I die in that in this movie?
No.
No. Okay. So Survivor. Okay. Or at least a side character that doesn't really involve too much with it. But not the slasher. Is it based in Texas?
No.
Is it based in and around? Well, no, because Friday the 13th is covered there. So slasher. Does it involve bees?
No. Don't worry, I haven't. No, it's not Candyman, and sadly, obviously, Tony Todd has passed away, so may he rest in peace.
Exactly.
That was weird to wake up to this morning. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Let's see here. So nothing to do with Michael Myers, nothing to do with Jason, nothing to do with Candyman or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think he's staring at me through the computer thinking he can guess, but that's not gonna work.
I'm just staring into your soul and figuring out what lies in its depths. So slasher movie, not based on the major ones that I'm familiar with. Well, I mean, there's still potential for Scream. Sidney Prescott.
No, but you are right with Scream.
Gale Weathers.
No.
Dewey.
No.
Richie.
No, I did tell you it's not one of the. It's not one of the killers.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Sometimes I forget Richie's a killer. One of the killers. Okay, so, um, okay. Why is my brain not firing off properly? One with the actual horror movie rules. Why do I always forget his name? It's always unfortunate because
Randy?
his death. Yes, because Randy. Is it
No,
Randy?
not Randy.
Damn it. Because he's always the one whose death in Scream 2 is one of the reasons why I like Scream 2
It's what
the most.
I don't understand why people like. I just don't. I just don't like. I don't really understand why they had to kill him off.
I don't think they really had to. It was a questionable decision overall, but it also did show nobody was safe.
Yeah, but then Gail, Dewey, Sydney, up to that point, up to 4, all of them have got plot armor and can't die. So to be fair, Randy, they killed off Randy to prove something, but then didn't prove it after that.
That's fair. Yeah, because you could argue maybe he didn't follow his rules all the way, but that
be
would have
fair-
been the
yeah,
best way to kill
that
him.
is-
That would have been the best way to kill him.
It is true. He did reveal that he did have sex in
Yeah.
Scream 3. He did learn that he died. He blamed on, obviously, that him dying was on the fact that he slept with somebody. So
See, yeah, there you go. Is it Sam?
is it Sam? No.
Yeah. Damn.
You're on the right track though.
So it's Sam's sister's name though.
It is Sam's sister, but what is her name?
Am I allowed to look the name up?
I'll just give you it. It's Tara.
God damn.
I thought I had you with that one.
Oh, you basically did. That Sam was the last one whose name I can remember.
Yeah, Tara.
Everyone else is just victims to me in the Scream franchise.
Tara's the main, like her and Sam are the main ones.
Yeah.
They're the Sydney and Gale of the franchise at that point. Let me. I'm gonna go with. Okay. I don't know. Have I done this one before? I think I've done that one before. I will go with. I'm gonna look at my horror DVDs to get some inspiration. Right. Yeah. Go on.
I'm gonna stick with my standard questions of: is it slasher related?
Yes.
Does it take place in the United States?
Yes.
Is it supernatural?
I'm gonna say ish.
Ish. Okay, so it's kind of like almost like the so. Is it the killer?
In this case, yes.
In this case, yes, and supernatural-ish, which should possibly mean that its powers and stuff might be on the, sussy
When I
side
say
of
it's a killer, it's a killer, not the killer.
a killer, not the killer. Okay. Why can't it be B killer?
Just keep on guessing.
People have a hard time when they see killer.
Just keep on guessing.
Okay, so supernatural-ish, not the killer, but a killer. Let's see, United States. Does it take place in Appalachia?
How am I supposed to know where that fucking is?
All right, that tells me it's not that movie.
What movie were you thinking of?
Well, the Wrong Turn movies. You ever watch the Wrong Turn
Oh,
movies?
yeah, I have. I didn't know where they took place, but no, it's not a wrong term.
Fun little side story is where my family's from. Not me. I was born in Ohio. My family, in the fourth movie, Wrong Turn 4, they have two key locations. They have the Weston State College and the Glenville, it's the Glenville like State Asylum or Glenville Asylum, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
That actually was name flopped. It's the Glenville State College and the Weston. It's the Weston Penitentiary like hospital, where basically the Weston like an insane asylum.
Well,
Um,
I love it when people
that's
get.
notoriously haunted. Yeah, so my family's from that area where they were like, "Hey, let's have this family of cannibals that do things like that."
Yeah, the
Anyways,
wrong term movies are something else.
yeah, I never watched a new remake or like the anything
The
after
new one,
4.
the new one's weird because it's not a part. It's not about uh like this formed family of cannibals.
It's like a cult, right?
It's a cult, and they look normal and all that. So I was like, nah, not for me.
Yeah,
So don't.
exactly.
I'm sorry, that's not even a remake. Basically, all you've done there is make another horror movie and slap the name Wrong Turn on it.
Yeah. Um, does the killer have wings?
The Killer of Wings? No.
Okay, so it's not that.
What are you thinking of?
The creeper.
No.
I'm shit at this game to be honest.
Oh my, but it's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. So not the main killer, but a killer. Did you pull out a Scream one again?
No.
I was to say, I was like, God damn.
No. I promise. There, by the way,
Uh,
when I say the killer, there's one kill. Well, right, there's one killer in the entire franchise until this movie. Until this very movie.
Kill on this franchise until this very movie. Yeah, it would mean
Your face does not look impressed.
that's me like trying to think like
I sorry if you're thinking of it.
brains. Yeah, that's I'm just like opening up my mind and just being like, all right, what movie options do we have here? Is this killer an animal?
No.
Okay, so Lake Placid's out of the park there. I don't know why we're kept coming back to Lake Placid. I don't know why. Like creature feature horror movies are kind of
It's
cool.
not a creature feature either.
Let's see. So, based on the earlier subject with the passing of Todd, I don't suspect Candyman at all. And you say not to that movie, which means it's not Friday the 13th. Um, okay, okay. It is based on is the name of the movie a holiday? Ah, so we are on Halloween then. Okay.
Yes, it is a Halloween movie, but which one?
Yeah, so it's because when it becomes another killer, that would actually make it'd be Halloween as in the requel, because at that point the person who was Myers was the journalist, not Myers at the beginning,
No.
because so it's not him. Fuck, you can see where I'm getting at there though. Immediately, because I'm like, yes, because when he wears the mask, does that shit, then
Journalist?
Myers almost immediately, yeah.
It's the therapist, not journalist.
Oh, is it the third?
Yeah.
Who's right? He was writing a book though, wasn't
Dr.
he? Right?
Zartan,
Ultimately?
well, he wanted to. He was the one in the film who let Michael go because he wanted to basically learn, like Michael's killing, and he wanted to feel it and wonder why.
Oh, right, yeah. I always get that part messy. I prefer
Yeah, no,
Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends because those are the two that I really like. Ah, we're looking at Halloween Ends. Yeah, what's his name? I could tell you like almost everything else about him, except
Corey Cunningham.
yeah. Honestly, I like the idea they were getting at with Halloween Ends. And I just don't think they did it. They they made it a little weird with Myers in the last one, where he's almost
My
like a shade.
the way I know a lot of people were wanting it this way. The idea was, I believe, the a lot of people were hoping that, from at least from the trailer, Corey would go on to become the new Michael. Basically, he would Michael would basically like a passing of the torch type deal,
Yeah.
where
And
we learn that obviously Corey somehow is ended up like Michael, where he's slowly just becoming this evil creature. Because the dad of the boy from the beginnings, he says, Corey was a nice kid. Corey's a nice kid. Corey's he's not inherently evil, but then he saw him. And then he says that he saw him randomly on the street, and when he looked at him, it wasn't Corey he saw
and that
something else.
and that's why I love that so much, because it goes into a bit of possibly the reason why this Myers is so obsessed with Lori compared to like when Lori was actually a family member, because Lori looked into his eyes. You know what I mean? There's like that whole thing, that almost like obsession
Well,
there of where
well,
Lori
we
could
learn
have.
we learn obviously from 2018 that no, Michael was never obsessed with her. She was just putting herself in his way. That's the whole thing. If you're in his way, if you're there, if you're just there, or he
He doesn't take
goes,
shortcuts. He goes in a straight direction. If you're there, it's a
if you
problem.
yeah, if he sees you and can kill you, he's going to kill you. That's why he never does it out in public
Until the public makes it the problem.
until the public makes it the issue. And
Yeah.
then and then obviously you learn at the very end, when all the mob end up running after that patient who got off, one of the patients from the bus who jumps out of the window. You learn that the mob is they're fueling Michael's hate. They're fueling him to the point where they're making him stronger.
Yeah. But yeah, because it kind of explained when Lori, I think it was when she was talking to Corey and everything, or Rory, sorry, not Corey, Rory, was that when she saw something in his eyes too, like she understood that same thing that he felt. It's just her form of that didn't become like, she didn't turn into that, but she did get her weird kind of hermity, like I have to destroy him kind of way. But it almost gave a sense that had things gone differently, she might have been the Rory back then, kind of thing. Like that could have been a thing. And that's what I kind of like, because then it's the idea like Lori knew exactly what she was dealing with. Also Rory, But anyways, I really liked it, and then I like the ending
I know a lot of
idea
people.
that,
It's weird because a lot of people don't like ends, but I really enjoy ends.
yeah, and it's the idea that evil doesn't have to be one thing, and it will come back. It will come back in another form. And the idea being that you could
It's
continue on
because
with it.
humans want to know why things happen and why some people inherently want to kill. Like serial killers, people wonder why serial killers are why they are the way they are.
Yeah.
But really, you don't really know. So the idea of Halloween is to show that you don't need a killer to have an inherent backstory where, oh, they were a tragic bringing up. This is why I don't like Rob Zombie's remake at the beginning for the origin of Michael, because I like Michael because his only reason for killing is because he is evil. He is the embodiment of evil. That's why the whole cult thing just was absolute shit. I hate the whole cult of Thorn
Because they
idea.
tried to make it. I mean, but Paul Rudd
They
was in
kept
those
on
ones,
trying
right?
to make it. Paul Rudd was fine. I liked Paul Rudd.
I love
Even
Paul
though
Rudd.
for some reason, he played that version of Tommy creepy as fuck.
If I remember correctly, they tried to bring him back for
Yeah.
Halloween Kills,
They
and he
tried to
just
bring him
wasn't
back,
available.
but he wasn't available because I think he was working on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, which makes me so sad, because the new Tommy, he wasn't bad. It's just I felt like if Rudd had reprised this role, it would have been much more not likable because honestly, I hated the whole mob. I was actually very happy when Myers took the mob out because simply they let the mob mentality, you know,
That was the point. Like I
yeah,
remember when Halloween Kills was like the code name of the movie was Mob Rules. So the idea is obviously that the mob is this inherent thing of scared people wanting to get rid of this evil from their town. They don't know they're actually feeding it and making it stronger. That's why I do like the fact that Michael beats the living shit out of them.
oh yeah, and that's where some people got really upset from Understood because they're like, how could he get back up after all of that? It's like because he got sustained by the rage and like
That's why it
the
ends.
overall
That's why his
emotions.
weekend ends because he hasn't killed for a while,
Yeah,
and they're not thinking. They're thinking it will because they beat him to crap. He's not coming back from that wood chipper ever.
yeah.
His body's in pieces. That's really the thing. Is what I like is the sheriff of the town. So I remember when in Kills he was like, "This is not how we do it." This is or in like 2018, "This is not how we do this." And then it ends at the very end. A cop says, "Should we stop them? This is not how we do it." And the cop's like, "It is tonight." Because even like he was like, "Michael's just a man," but then at the very end, the town's like, "No, he's fucking not. He's not just a man."
They finally realize he is that boogeyman. You know,
He
he is that evil
he
incarnate.
basically is what Laurie's always said he was.
Yeah. And I like that. Like honestly, when it comes down to the original Halloween and then that trilogy together, that's a nice completion of a story arc, in my opinion. Also because I'll forever love the firefighter scene in Halloween
I love the
Kills.
firefighter scene.
It's the it's
Even
fucking
though, even
badass.
though I remember when that scene was in the trailer, a lot of people came out and was like being angry about it.
Yeah, but it just showed like the force of nature. Plus, like I love like the when they pull the hose, they hit him with the hose, and they just show how strong Myers is because that pressurized hose does not stop him. He walks right the fuck through it, right into them, and it's just oh, it's beautiful. Anyways, I could talk about that for hours.
We yeah we should continue.
Third
So
character.
I do have one. Go for it.
All right, does it take place in the United States?
Yes.
Is it a slasher?
No. No. No.
Does it involve nightmares?
No.
Damn. Okay, it's not
It's
really.
I would say it's technically a slasher, but also not.
Okay, technically slasher, but also not. Okay, so it's a creature feature.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say it's not a creature feature. Slasher, but not quite. Mm, are there wax figures?
It's not House of the Wax. No.
Damn. Okay. Let's see. Slash, but not really. I guess stumps me a bit. I'm trying to think of a better question to further clarify that. Does it take place in the Western United States?
I'm actually not sure because there's never a clarification where what city this takes place in.
Do the killers wear masks?
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes,
Sometimes.
only for
Okay, so it's
certain
not.
only for certain things.
All right, so it doesn't involve the strangers then.
No.
Um, so they wear masks only for certain things, though, which gives me like
Also, by the way, when I say killers, there's one main one, and the rest are basically followers
That makes sense, yeah, because I was leaning on the cult
in
idea
the
there.
franchise anyway.
Yeah. So in a franchise that involves killers who wear masks, for their nefarious cult activities kind of thing. It's funny, my brain immediately starts thinking of the Sunny Family Call from Crypt TV, but I don't think you
No,
you would go that obscure.
no,
Um,
I could, but no, it's been a while since I've actually watched that.
there's a reason why I have the smiley face on my wrist because I enjoy it. It makes me happy.
I like that. I like Crypt TV's like whole thing.
So it's not going to be Scream again, and also Scream is not really a cult. There should be, honestly, that would be an interesting take on another one. Would be like a cult of the ghost face kind of thing. That's where I almost thought they were going a bit with the newest one. Was that because they had the whole like they had everything and an obsession? Um, so Texas Chainsaw never really had a cult. Friday the 13th never really had a cult. Freddy Krueger definitely never had a cult. Wrong Turn didn't have a cult. I already said Texas Chainsaw, didn't I? Yeah. Cult. I always think of like the Void, but I don't know enough about the Void to remember if they wear masks as part of their thing. Midsummer doesn't take place in the United States.
When I say mask, they wear it only to get their victims.
Oh, so it's Jigsaw. But you're talking about the lesser killer though, so Amanda.
No,
It's gonna be the cop then. Is his name Mike?
no, it's not Hoffman.
Ah, is his name Mike Hoffman or is it just Hoffman? I always get the first
I
name.
don't know his first name. I just know him as Hoffman.
Okay. It's funny how quickly just saying to when they get people, it's like boom, it's the pig mask. Okay, so did the doctor ever actually kill someone? I know he was like
Oh, it's Mark
revealed that
Hoffman. Yeah, Mark. I,
Mark. Okay. I totally picked up your accent there for just that 1 second, the way I pronounced it.
and by the way, before you say anything, no, it's not the Doctor either.
Yeah, because I was trying to think it for him. So the three killers that I know of are those three: Amanda, the Doctor, Hoffman, and then Jigsaw himself, who his actual name.
Is John
Oh yeah, John.
Kramer? How the
Yes,
fuck
yeah.
do you not remember that?
I'm tired, man. Do you know when I managed to finally get home and be asleep?
And then
It was
apparently
like
you're doing
5
like
a.m.
how long of a stream today?
An 8-hour stream because I was on Wednesday.
Doing an 8-hour stream on no sleep. What are you streaming?
Silent Hill 2. It'll be Silent Hill 2.
Oh, alright. Go on.
It's important because then
How
as
can
I
you do?
start,
Wait, how long is Silent Hill 2 to do an 8-hour stream?
isn't it like a 32-hour game? Like on average?
God, my game series gonna go to shit. Alright, go on.
Yeah. So we're still in Jigsaw. Kramer was not the answer, correct?
No, neither was any of the disciples.
Yeah.
And what I would say
Ooh.
this, it's none of the disciples from the first set of films. So you're not Amanda, not the Doctor from the first film, and not Hoffman.
So we're talking about the most recent two movies. Which
No.
is bad for me.
You're
No,
you're
okay.
forgetting a movie.
I am forgetting a movie then, aren't I?
Plus, the movie I'm talking about is not called Saw.
Jigsaw. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I haven't watched that one. I have no idea what happens in that movie.
I'm just gonna have to give you it then. The killer is called Logan Nelson.
Okay.
He
Yeah, I
so the idea so basically in Jigsaw we learn that there was a game set before all of the others. It was Jigsaw's like first ever big game, and Logan was in it. Logan was the doctor who did the mix-up of the X-rays on accident, and obviously out of a bit of an anger, John put him in his game, but he didn't. He got hurt, so John saved Logan because he realized that he shouldn't have put him in his game.
Because it was a rage thing, not so
Yeah.
much an actual.
And then he rehabilitates him, he helps him, and he ends up showing him a better way, a better path. But then years later, Logan, after coming back from, I think he went off to the army. After this, I think he went off to the army after this, not before this. I can't remember. But when he came back, his wife, I think when he came back, he did have a daughter. His wife did die, and throughout the movie, he's actually trying to recreate the game that John put him through to get revenge, and he ended up having the last two players be him and the cop who let his wife's murderer go. Because his wife's murderer was the cop's criminal informant. But the cop was shady anyway, because he's known for, like, bribes and shit. So, yeah. I like Jigsaw. I don't care what people say. It brought John back, and John was great.
Yeah, exactly. He was a fantastic one.
Hey, time for your three.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for the first one.
Fucking hell, that was quick. Is this a slasher?
No.
Is this a movie I've seen?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have I talked about this movie?
We've talked about this movie.
We've talked about it. Is it a movie we've done an episode about?
Yes.
Was it the first episode where we just talked random shit?
No.
Okay, because we ended up just talking. I think we ended up just talking about Scream. Is it a vampire movie then?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Fuck's sake. Is it Underworld?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're like, God damn it, here comes Underworld again.
So it's not an Underworld. What vampire movie? Is it a vampire movie that was on your list or my list?
My list.
Yours. So it's not Lost Boys. What was on your list? Is it so? I don't remember. Did you have Underworld on your list?
I did, yeah.
Right. So it's not Underworld. So what's the other two you had? 28 Days Later.
That was actually you.
That's
as well.
That's not a vampire movie. That's a zombie movie. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're thinking about 30 Days a Night.
30 Days a Night. That was on my list.
Yeah. I
not-
love 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later.
Same.
Aren't they coming out with a new one that's like 28 years later or something like that?
That's coming out. They're bringing back the main character from the first movie,
Which is gonna be awesome. I love those. Definitely
Cillian
A-tier.
Murphy. Yeah, he's coming back.
Yes.
What fucking movie? So it's not Underworld because you had Underworld. What other? I don't know why I want to say Twilight.
I wouldn't use Twilight.
I know, because I don't consider that's not even a horror movie. Why did I think of that?
Yeah, I like the books. Movies are terrible.
I'm sorry, but vampires do not sparkle. What did you have on your list? Is this a movie like typical vampires?
Yeah.
Are the vampires the villains?
Is there a movie where the vampires? Are you thinking Blade? Like Blade's the only thing I think of where there's like a vampire.
No, Underworld. Underworld's technically that as well.
I would still consider them still villains. Like I would still argue that Celine and everybody are still villains.
I don't consider Selena well, to be fair, she killed anybody she wants. Really.
And they don't really show necessarily so much her feet on people, but you know she does. You know what I mean? Like and except for the moments when they're drinking like blood bags and things like that, you know that's what she does because she's a vampire. It's in the nature kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing in those films. You've got to root for her
Yeah, because they're
versus
called death dealers. You know what I mean? Because she essentially is like one of the best, just straight up killers
uh
of it all.
so the vampires are the villains. Are these modern vampires?
How so?
Actually, hang on. Is it the last voyage of the Demeter?
It's that movie, yeah.
Is it Count Dracula?
There you go. It took you a lot longer to figure out that my quick decision was simply
I
Dracula.
completely forgot that Demeter. I forgot the last voyage of the Demeter was on your list. I was about to say that was a very quick draw. Right, give me your second one.
Yeah, because that was just straight Dracula.
So if I just said any other movie, you would have probably. Wow.
It could have been any vamp. Like you didn't have to go with those movies. All you had to. It was simply Dracula. I could have put any of them.
Motherfucker. Go on. What's your next one?
I'm just making sure I have the name completely right because the sometimes the name changes, which is
What? Then
a pain
what?
in my
What?
ass. Yeah.
Name change? What?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to.
I don't like how you're saying that. The name changes. Like, what do you mean the name fucking changes?
That isn't. No, I think it works. Okay, all right, I got it.
Okay, is this movie a slasher?
Yes.
Yes. Is this movie one killer or is it multiple killers using the same moniker?
Uh, neither. They don't really use a moniker.
So they don't have a killer name,
Correct.
but there are multiple killers.
Correct.
Is there more than one movie?
There is more than one movie, and this specific character a part of said thing.
There's it's a specific character.
Yes.
Is this character the main protagonist? Is this person the main one?
I would say possibly main antagonist.
Antagonist.
Yeah, antagonist being.
So this is the villain.
Yeah.
Is this person in? Does this person die?
Yes.
Does this person ever show up in the sequels?
2 movies.
So the person shows up in 2 of the movies.
Correct. Yep.
Are they the killer in these movies?
Yes. One of the killers in the movies.
Is it Scream?
No.
Is it Wrong Turn?
No.
Does this take place in America?
Yes.
Do we know what city? Or what area?
I could probably say state if I look a little bit further. I
Is it
would
Seoul?
likely get no.
Fuck. So, is this person like the person who comes up with the idea? Like the person is this person the main like person who comes up with the murderous intent?
I would want to say, is this a yes? Is this a yes? I'm gonna say in the movies he is in, and I'll give you the hint that it's a he. I like to say yes. I like to say that he's the guide of it all.
So wait, so is this does this guy kill?
Yes.
So this person does do killing.
And delights in it.
And so do they enjoy killing?
I'd say absolutely yes.
Do they So they enjoy killing. Do they kill with purpose, or is it just kill for killing's sake?
I think in their mind, it's more of a purpose, even if it may look like for killing's sake.
So they do it for a purpose.
Correct. Yep.
Do they wear masks? Is there any masks involved?
Yeah.
Does the protagonist know who they are?
He doesn't wear a mask. And yes, they know about who they go as.
He knows who they. So this person doesn't know their moniker.
I would say he doesn't have a moniker. He has
So
a title, but not like a killer moniker.
he has a title. What? Is it
And a mask is involved, but he doesn't wear the mask.
So does this person like control the other killers?
Yes, he tells them what to do.
How is it not Saw?
Because it's not Kramer.
Is it Saw?
No.
So I need a hint.
So it's all about family.
It's Texas, isn't it?
It is Texas Chainsaw, but the question is which movies and
Is it a
what
remake?
character. I think according to the timeline, isn't technically everything when they made that requel that was also kind of making fun of
No, I
requels,
mean the
was
remakes, the
that
actual ones that are known as remakes.
well, what I'm saying is, are they even considered remakes anymore? Or are they considered like non-canon side stories at this point?
No, they're remakes. These ones are remakes anyway. The one,
I'd say
the one
so.
I'm,
Yeah,
the one I'm
give me the
thinking
name.
of is a remake. It is known as remakes.
Yeah, I'll say it is. Yeah,
You know, like the 2007 one.
I was thinking more like 2003, 2006.
So it is one of those.
Yes, yeah.
Is it? Oh, what's it? Is it? What's his fucking name? Is it the guy who pretends to be a cop?
Yes.
You're gonna make
Because
me
he goes by a title that's not actually like like
Sheriff Hoyt.
There you go. I
Yes.
could try to make you guess the full name, but you see now why I had to think of the name because there were the Sawyers and they became the Hewitts, and then
Yeah.
you have Sheriff
I was about to
Hoyt
say,
who's
how
not the
many
sheriff.
fucking how many families does many families does Leatherface have? At one point, he's got a dog. Well, he's not got. Well, there's a theory that the girl in one of the films is his actual daughter.
Yeah. Which Arlie Ernie was one of my absolute favorite kind of like
Same.
actors
I
for a
think
bit.
I think he did phenomenal in that role.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was 2003, right? Or was it the beginning? I think it was the beginning, right? Where you had the guy who dodged the draft, and whenever he was cool, thinking that that survivor was actually going to go to the military, and he seemed
Yeah.
completely fine with them and really supportive. But the moment he realized that he was a draft dodger, that's when he got like,
That's
"Hey,
when he
I'm going
got
to kill you too."
pissed.
Yeah, and
So
I was
like
like,
when
honestly, that's
one of the
good.
brothers who was like very military, he was like showing him respect, but he also wanted to test his mettle. But
Yeah.
then when he learned that the brother was a draft dodger or someone who he didn't want to go to the military, like he actually didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He wanted to stay home and that. He treated him worse.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Because he said he could go, but then he broke his fucking back. But yeah, I think the remakes are brutal.
Absolutely. And like his character will always reign in my mind as like stream like Leatherface was pretty chilling and stuff sometimes, but Leatherface isn't exactly in his right mind in a sense of he doesn't seek out like I'm gonna kill to kill kind of thing, right? It's more like it's what his family wants. Hoyt,
Yeah, in those
however,
ones,
is definitely
Hoyt's the one who because I know the second one that came out in those that it's that one's a prequel to the first one, it's a prequel to the remake. Because in the first one, obviously, Hoyt gets fucking run over by the protagonist a lot in a car. And Leatherface gets his entire arm chopped off.
Yeah. And if they ever add Hoyt, because I've been playing some Texas Chainsaw Massacre for lately, so
I
have
need to
a
get
friend back into it.
re-downloaded again.
Yeah. And we've been doing pretty decent, at least for the three of us. But if they added Hoyt to the game,
I think they should.
I would never play another character, in all honesty. I would be like, unless someone else took it somehow, I'd be like, I am the sheriff. The game's Virginia's a pain in the ass to deal with. But anyways, so you got that one. So then the last one is just making sure that I have my name correct, because sometimes my brain doesn't think of names properly.
This cannot be real.
What's up?
I've just seen. I. No, Ali, after that just looks weird.
Okay. I have the character in mind.
Okay. Is this a slasher?
No.
Is it supernatural?
Yes.
Is it ghosts?
No.
Is it poltergeists?
No.
Is it Freddy?
No.
What type of... Is it a demon?
No.
Is it a vampire?
No.
Is it a werewolf?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake, is it Wolfman?
No.
It's a Is it Underworld?
Yes.
I swear to God. Is it Michael?
No.
Is
I don't care much for Michael, to be honest.
Is it Lucian?
No.
To be fair, Lucian, it would have been a good pick. My favorite line.
Lucian's pretty cool.
My
yeah.
favorite line. By the way, the one. Do you know the prequel? The one that's set like by
the
Lucian's
Ride the
origin.
Lycans.
Yeah. My favorite line from that movie is, "Are we slaves or are we lichens?" I love that line because it just.
Absolutely.
I feel like it proves that the werewolves are the way they are because vampires treated them as just treated them as slaves.
Yeah,
So
it kinda
really,
convinced
vampires
them
were
of it.
kind of the villains in that respect, that they kept the werewolves, chained and as pets. So it's not Michael. It's not Lucian. Is it a werewolf from the first film?
No.
Not the first film. Is it Marcus's brother? The first werewolf.
Yes.
So it's the white werewolf.
Correct.
What's his fucking name?
It's a very boring name.
Bill.
You're close. You're actually
William.
really close.
Oh, it's William.
There you, yeah. William Corvinus.
I like how you say William's a boring name.
Yeah, and then you're be like, Bill, you're not wrong.
No, I've got a friend called Will.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna message Astro real quick.
You're just gonna tell him that that Mori thinks his name's boring.
Yeah.
Good. Tell him. Shots fired.
Don't mate me.
I figured it'd be a good way to make him bring him up as the character and everything.
I'm about to say, because him and his brother are the first of their kind.
Yeah.
So it was like their father was an immortal human. Their father was an immortal human, and his children were the first vampire and the first werewolf. And that's where all vampires and werewolves were born. Like, I remember the vampire one. He was obviously known as an elder, Like he's the first. He created what's his name, the main vampire from the first film. He created him
Victor.
from Victor. He created Victor to basically be like a leader in his place, like someone he worked through, someone that he created. Basically, he created the elders in a way that they would protect him.
Yeah, because
But then he
wasn't
became a
speaking
fucking
for-
hybrid. So he ended up with bat wings, which we know are not all vampires. Like I think he does. It does, doesn't it? Because there's like
That
werewolf.
is, I don't think that was because he was a hybrid. I think he always had the Batwing thing.
Hang
It's
on.
just he
Hang on a minute.
he
No, cause Michael says he's a hybrid as well.
well, Michael was a hybrid. Well,
Michael.
remember what hybrids looked like? With Michael, he had slight
No,
canine
the way I
features,
thought about it
or
was
lupine
it
features
depends what you are. So like Michael was a werewolf that
first.
then got vampire. Marcus was a vampire who then got werewolf, so he had more.
The question is,
Michael
though,
had
where did he
more.
get that?
Michael had more werewolf features than vampire. Marcus had more vampire than werewolf.
But when did Marcus get that then? Because he already had the wings in the first Underworld.
Yeah.
It wasn't really
well,
shown in the first Underworld until
we
the
know
second,
from a
but he
scene.
did
We
have
know
it.
from a scene in the film when Marcus. So there's a werewolf. The guy. There's a Lucian is working with a scientist guy who's trying to find
Finch, I believe, right?
he's trying to find the blood, of the Corvinus clan to create the first. He wants to create the first hybrid. That was Lucian's plan. I think Lucian wanted to make himself a hybrid.
Wasn't his goal to kind of unite? Like basically, that was like his sort of idea was, hey, if we're all like the same thing, sort of thing, then it's
I
not a
think so.
problem.
I don't
no
know.
war.
I think he just wanted to make himself stronger. I think he wanted to make werewolves immune to because we know Michael. He's immune to basically. He's basically immune to silver,
Yeah.
and that's what I think they wanted to do. They wanted to make him immune to silver. Hang on.
Which they did Michael so dirty in the later films. So dirty.
They killed him off. It pissed me off.
Killed him off, basically off screen. Just had this other wolf who was like, "Yeah, I have
the
a
last
memories. I killed him."
Because they had it be where Michael escapes. Some reason he didn't stay to look for Selena. He ran away. Then
In, like, the
we
weird
find
time
out,
skip,
and
it's so
then the
weird.
daughter is left. Then there's a time skip. The daughter's nowhere to be seen, and then we learn that the main werewolf killed Michael to make himself stronger.
Yeah. And it's just, it got messy in the end. Now, granted, the really cool powers like that vampire kind of coven was pretty fucking cool, but ultimately, I was not a fan of those movies.
It says here Marcus is a hybrid. He was already a vampire, but after the death of a lichen doctor outside of his crypt, Marcus absorbed the lichen's blood and became a hybrid.
Oh, because the blood that seeped and woke him up. It never clicked in my brain that there's anything, quote unquote, special about the blood. It was lichen blood, of course. It never clicked to me that.
I think it was because him being a child of the Corvinus clan, like, because we know it is said that the reason why Michael was able to become a hybrid was because he was a Corvinus descendant.
Yeah.
He was much more pure as a Corvinus descendant.
And everything.
And that's how he became that. But Marcus was a direct descendant. He was Corvinus's son. So him basically drinking the lichen blood was easy. So really, William, if he ended up being bit by a werewolf, by a vampire, he could have become a hybrid.
Yeah.
And that's why I always thought that's why he had bat wings. The idea is that it's whatever you're turned into first.
Yeah, and that's why, like, so William, in my opinion, is like a really cool but also a tragic character, of course, because he didn't really have control over, like, he was like your
No,
pure kind of werewolf.
he was full on werewolf. He never turned human again.
Yeah, which whenever I was looking it up to make sure I had the name fully right and everything too, they explained that the wolf that attacked them, that he jumped in front of his brother, actually had rabies, and the blood, the Corvinus blood reacted an immune response to the rabies that led to his change. That also made him that feral, like basically turn him
So
into
how
that
did
kind of
Marcus
killer
become a
beast.
vampire then?
That's
He was
actually
he was the original vampire. Dracula doesn't even exist in Underworld,
yeah. So
as far as we know, anyway.
at least in this piece, it doesn't talk about Marcus's infection. It really just talks about Williams, and then it mentions the vampirism. But let's see. And then it just says simply that after being bit by a bat, Mark turns into the first vampire. So really, William has really fleshed out, like, I was defending my brother from this wolf, and the wolf bit me. And then Marcus is simply a bat bit me
Yeah,
after the fact.
So if I remember, it's because one of the guys says they talk about the Corvinus clan. Because Victor says it's a legend. Victor knows that the Corvinus family exist. He knows that it's real because of Marcus, but he keeps it a secret because that
And because everyone thinks Victor's the boss.
because if vampires knew it, hybrids were. If Marcus knew that if Victor knew, because he always said hybrids are an abomination.
Yeah.
He didn't like the idea of crossing the species, even though technically Marcus wouldn't care.
Yeah, because Marcus loves his brother. The entire time,
So
he loves his brother.
one son bit by wolf, one by bat. First vampire, first werewolf.
Even though, and it sounds nice, but it was werewolf then vampire. Because if Marcus was a vampire when the wolf attacked, it wouldn't have been a problem. But William sacrificed himself, essentially, like jumped in the way, and then gets bit, and then becomes. And honestly, so the reason why evolution is my favorite.
It says here, I think it says here that they did have there was actually another brother. One son remained human and died.
That's the one who eventually that leads to Michael. Like that's the bloodline trace to Michael, I believe.
So yeah, so one was bit by a wolf, one by bat, one became a werewolf, one became a vampire. And then their other brother stayed human, and he died, sending the bloodline through humanity. And then their father was known as the first immortal. And it's his his blood, it's their father's blood who can actually turn drinking his blood turned Selena into a daywalker.
Yeah.
See, because obviously after that she ended up with it. Because she says, what will it turn me into? And I don't know. I can't remember what he says to her, but he mentions something. He mentions something to her about it.
I think it's something like where it's like you become something different, etc.
Yeah.
Kind of like a very not exactly like this is exactly what it would be. More like you'll become better or stronger or something like that, or something new. And yeah, so like the reason why, and I fear this is a good segue into our topics like that because of the werewolves and stuff. Like Underworld Evolution was my favorite Underworld, mainly because at the very beginning, me being younger, I love the whole scene of the village when the vampires ride up and they're trying to take out the lycanthrope in the village to capture William. And you just get to see like how powerful William's lycanthropy is because the dead were turning into werewolves. Like
Yeah.
he was straight killing
He
them,
was able
and then
to.
they became
He was able to. Well, they were already dead. He bit them, and they ended up turning. So I think that's how that worked.
Well, yeah. Well, he was the one who killed them. Was the reason for it because he went on a rampage and stuff, and then
Yeah.
they turned after death. And it was like interesting because then you see
And then
vampires
they
and
ended.
werewolves duking
And
it
it's
out.
also cool to see that technically William's also immortal.
Yeah,
Cause like even he's immortal. Werewolves are immortal anyway. Cause like Lucian was like really old.
yeah.
So
The
both
idea being is
werewolves
they
and
can keep going in
vampires,
perpetuity.
both species are immortal. It's
Yeah.
just that they have weaknesses. Same with like the Corvinus father. He had weaknesses.
So
He
what was his weakness exactly?
I don't know. He just
Besides
got shot.
being,
Oh wait, no, he got stabbed by his son's wings.
yeah,
I think
I
he
wouldn't
like
necessarily call
he
that
was
like a weakness.
immortal.
That's just expected.
No,
Yeah.
he was immortal. It's just that basically anything that can kill a human could kill him.
Yeah, because he didn't seem to have any supernatural speed or
No,
strength or things like that.
the
It
idea.
simply, he just didn't die of age. He
No,
just was, perpetuity.
he was just like that, and that's why he
Yeah,
created that like secret organization that he was working for.
yeah. Which I like. And then in the later movies, when you get the actual like, what happens if humanity realize we exist, and then you get to see because humanity, eh, I love that premise that the idea that hey, we had this cool lifestyle,
Since
right? Like we're vampires at
we're
night.
since like it's an hour episode, we'll do one
Yeah.
werewolf movie each.
Each okay, perfect. In
We'll put
which
it down
we're
for
dealing
one.
with mine right now, yeah.
Yeah, we're dealing
And
with
like
those anyway.
yeah, and I love the idea that the idea is that yeah, like vampires from that side of things, we have this lovely luxurious life, and the werewolves have their cool like underground like setup of just like kind of the cool criminals, right? Where versus like the aristocratic elite
They
vampires.
have covens.
Yeah. And then you have the
And
idea
they
of like,
also
yeah,
have
but
and
the humans.
the vampires also have that thing of they have like they have one elder wake up a year. They have
Yeah.
they have one elder awake to basically look after them for like so many years. Like Marcus and all that. Marcus was one of them. Victor was one of them. I can't remember her name, but
Amelia,
Amelia, she was the first
the
one.
American.
She's the
Yeah.
first one. So it's like she's been awake the entire time. She's been looking after the clans. So now it's time for her to go to sleep. But then obviously the guy who ran the coven that Selena was a part of wanted no more of this. So he decided, fuck it, I'll murder who I want. Technically, actually, vampires actually had rules about
Yeah.
feeding on humans because Victor broke those rules. Victor, the reason why Selena's even a vampire is because Victor murdered her family.
To keep the secret of where William was interred.
Yeah, but he also liked going out and feeding on humans.
Yeah.
Anyway, he basically broke the rules of feeding because they ended
Yeah.
up coming up with rules.
Yeah. And then like ultimately with all that stuff too is like the idea that like they both sides recognize, hey, if humans realize we exist, we're fucked. And humans figure out they exist, and then the entire like wars
Yeah,
where
I
when
like how
Selena
the
wakes up,
humans
they
called it a
realize.
disease.
Yeah.
They said
And
vampires and
technically it
werewolves
is.
exist, and they said it is a disease. Technically it is.
Technically, yeah. It's because like the idea is like sure the Corvinus blood had special mutations that allowed them and everything
It's a
to
human
mutate.
It's
Yeah, because
human evolution.
the lycanthropy is a direct result of the rabies and the Corvinus blood mixing. Whereas the vampire one, it doesn't quite give us like an actual like relatable disease. Just hey, a bat bit Marcus, and Marcus got a little weird after that, right? He couldn't go. He
It
got
would
a
have been a
little, he got a
vampire
little
bat.
emo, right? Yeah. And but yeah, so like the werewolves in that, so this is where this it's like one of the only movies where werewolves are in where I'm like, wow, I do like this.
It's weird
Because
as well because the werewolves in this one they relish in transforming.
yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
and
hurt them. It happens within seconds, and they relish in it.
yeah. And the idea being too that it's like their tribal identity, right? Like the idea of, it's the pack identity, I guess is probably the best way to say it in that sense. But like when you get like Rise of the Lycans, that's where they become really that's when you start looking at Lycans in a completely different light. If you watch Rise of the Lycans and then watch the first movie after you've already watched the first movie, you realize,
That's
oh
what I
shit,
always do.
these are
I
freedom
don't
fighters.
watch them in order.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
like they become more freedom fighters. They were the oppressed because the vampires
plus in the first
decided
film,
that they were superior.
Lucian's having, you see flashbacks of Lucian, uh, of like losing the woman he loved, but you never know why that happened. All you know is that Victor's the reason why it happened and
And I
stuff
love
like
how
that.
they laid that breadcrumb out for us to get in the future movie. Like they
And
had
then
a good plan until the
they
later movies.
recreated that scene, and it turns out Marcus was in love. Marcus was the first ever Lycan. He was a werewolf who could stay human. He was the first ever,
Or
and
Lucian.
Lucian.
Yeah.
See, it says in obviously in Rise of the Lycans, there's a baby that's found who's in human form, but it turns out that no, he can transform into a werewolf, but also turn human.
And so he also kind of was the beginning of the strain of those Lycans where, hey, we can use these as laborers as well as day guards
Yeah,
because they can be awake during the
they
daytime.
used them as guardians during the day, while vampires could stay out at night. And Lucian was like got all the privileges. Like he was still a slave towards them,
But more like an overseer kind of
but
thing.
he made them weapons. He was a blacksmith.
Yeah.
And he but he also, like, I know in the beginning he also didn't like other Lycans. He thought they were disgusting at the beginning. But then as the movie goes on, I think he relishes in what he is finally.
Yeah, because he realizes he was conditioned to look at his fellow Lycans as lesser than him.
Yeah.
When in reality, he was that was just a ploy to keep him, keep him
Keep him
content.
in, and then he obviously saved Victor's daughter as well.
Yeah.
While breaking one of their rules, which was taking the collar off that kept them human.
Yeah.
And then he ended up, obviously, he ended up losing the woman he loved because he got her pregnant with a hybrid, which
And that was Victor's own daughter, and that's
yeah,
like
and he
leads to the
killed her
whole villain arc. Yeah.
because he even like he didn't care about her. Really,
Yeah. Well, the idea is he cared, but he cared as much as a noble person cares for their possessions, right? She
Yeah.
was so he still loved her. You could tell he loved her by how some things reacted, but ultimately that was the hard line. Is in his mind is we are the superior being.
It's because
we can't do this.
He remembers being human. He remembers being on the deathbed. He remembers Marcus turning him.
Yeah.
So he's like, I am something better now, and I'm not going to let anything change it, but also I can't let the two species cross over because it'll be an abomination and it'll be the end of us.
To make a fun, to make a wordplay here is technically the definition of like a mutt, like when you have like a dog who has multiple different bloodlines in it, right? And they're like mutts because they're not like, say, like a pure keeler or a pure retriever, right? And then you have, vampire werewolf. It's literally that.
Hybrids are like a really interesting thing. Right, we'll talk about mine. I've gone with American Werewolf in London.
Because Americans make every British thing better.
No. I'm sorry, you guys made American Werewolf in Paris, and oh, what were you thinking?
To be fair, I didn't even know that one existed. Until you just told me now.
I forgot it existed until I watched it a while ago. 1, CGI werewolves looked like shit. 2, why did the guy who became a werewolf seem to like not have a transformation? And 2, it sucked. There was like in the movie, yeah, there was multiple werewolves as well, and then yeah, it seemed like they just enjoyed it a bit too much. American Wolf in London, though, obviously, American guy gets attacked. He sees his friends. He sees his friend who's been killed from the disease, and throughout the film, he's like, to be fair, you never really. A funny thing is about it, he doesn't really transform that often in the movie. It's more about the idea of him transforming. That first transformation that you see, where it's Bad Moon Rising, great fucking song, and him transforming. I've got to admit, best werewolf transformation ever, and it still holds up today. It's still the best transformation of a werewolf on screen ever, just for the fact of how much practical effect went into it. And I like the film because, so basically, what I like about it is that at the very end of the film, it's also about love as well. There's also like that love story going on, and I like the idea of at the very end of the film, when the werewolf's on the street, he's attacking, he's killing. People are like looking at it like, what is that? And it's a creature and all that. But then when he dies in werewolf form, and then when he transfers to human, people look at him and just think it was a guy. Like it was a person, it was just some maniac this entire time. Their brain won't allow them to see that it was anything but a psycho. So the idea of the film is that the idea it's about an inner beast, and about it's not about pure evil. It's about the fact that these people couldn't open their eyes to realize that this guy wasn't a killer.
Yeah.
He had something in him that made him a killer, and then he's died he's dead, and people are just going to blame him for all the murders because they can't inherently believe werewolves are real.
Yeah.
I don't know, American Wolf is weird.
Also,
I also just want to believe that, well, American Wolf in Paris does not exist.
that's fair. Have you ever watched the series, Being Human? Not
Yes.
the British one, but the one with Sam Witwer.
Yes.
How did you feel about that and their rendition of werewolves?
Mm-hmm. Right, here's the thing. One, CGI werewolf again.
CGI werewolf sucked massively, but the struggle with him when he, with his lycanthropy and all that stuff, that was I felt like
I'll
that's
admit I
probably
did
pretty
like
close to
that, but
akin
the
with that.
British version is it's better because it was practical, and I think I just think it was better in the way of like how they told the story
Okay.
of it. But I do like the American version because I like Sam Witwer. But then again, the British version is still a lot better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I've only watched the American version and everything. But mainly because Sam Witwer I saw, I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, I like this. This
I
is
only
nice.
watched it because of Sam Witwer. That's the only reason I watched it.
Yeah.
I do like the actors. It's just the fact that the werewolf just didn't fucking bother. Like it, I just couldn't watch it because the look of the werewolf.
Well, it was
Also,
just big CGI wolf.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but a TV show in England did a werewolf that was practical. In America, let's make it fucking CG. And
Well, I think also the time it came out too, the thing is that's when CGI was like really, really popular. People were just like, yeah, this is great. But then people obviously like realized like, just because you can do it that way doesn't mean you should.
I also like some like Lion. I just like how it betrays its like characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like being human. It was a very
Do you though? You seems like you really like werewolves.
I like the English version. I
I'm
like
just
being
picking.
human. I do like being human. I like the idea of like it being like a ghost, a werewolf, and a vampire living together.
It's just it's an interesting concept. Now, here's my question though. You ever watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Did you like that show?
Yeah.
I always joke that you know how they say there's different types of energy vampires.
Oh yeah, where there's the fucking vampire that basically it's not even a vampire; it just sucks the living fucking shit out of you.
Yeah. I joke that my puns and the fact I love making people cringe like that. I joke that I'm just that kind of form of energy vampire where it's just I get my
Wow.
sustenance from making people suffer with jokes.
I also like how the show's really good.
It's
I can't. It's ending soon as well. Last time I checked.
you know what? That's probably the best werewolf ever. Remember they get ready to do a duel with the werewolf and everything. The werewolf's like a badass. They're like, "Oh, choose your weapon." And they're like, "Oh, teeth and claws." And then it starts with an L. Why is my brain it wasn't Laszlo. I always forget his name, and he's my favorite vampire. Man, I'm terrible. He was the actual like conqueror and everything, even though like honestly, he's just a really cute guy. Nandor. Yeah, Nandor. So then the Nandor's like, let's see here. And he gets a fucking squeaker toy. And it's like, all right, and then tosses it off the roof, and the werewolf immediately turns. So they're all like, no, don't do it. Jumps off the roof and like cripples it, knocks itself out, basically.
I need to watch it. It's been a bit since I watched the It's been a bit since I watched the show that I can't remember after the stuff that happened.
It was amazing because it was just funny because I remember people being so upset at this thing. So like, how did he win? That doesn't kill a werewolf. And it's like, no, you can hear him whimpering on the ground afterwards. Like, it's still like a 3 or 4 story fall. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. It's just what happened. So he would survive, but the thing is, Nandor won. Nandor won without actually fighting a werewolf. He just took Squeaker Toy, tossed it off the roof.
Yeah, I don't know. But anything else?
No, that's all I can think of. But that's the best werewolf.
But yeah, guys, we hope everybody did enjoy today's episode. Sorry about the rambling. Well, to be fair, that's the podcast, so deal with it. But yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Don't know what the topic will be.
I vote zombies.
Could do. Hey guys, hope you did enjoy today's episode. Catch in the throat. But yeah, hope you did enjoy, and I have been one of your hosts, Slasher.
And I'm your other host, Mori.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, this podcast is brought to you by the Slasher and Podcast Network and O's on social media. And remember, keep on slashing, keep watching horror, and we'll see you for next time.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.